Hello, Drag Race fans. Welcome to the very first episode of Condone Yourself. My name is Joe. Then this is OT and Kelly. So today we're going to talk about the very first episode of season 14, where we were introduced to 7 new queens.
I found them interesting. I thought right. I thought it was a interesting choice of queens to put together. They all seemed so very different, and it felt very intentional that they picked that set of queens, because normally, there are 2 or 3 comedy queens, 2 or 3 pageant queens, 2 or 3 fashion queens, but everybody seemed like they had their own really specific lane of drag. And I think that's the first time I've ever seen it so specific with the set of girls in the entire history of the show for me.
I agree. The first 7, I thought they were very different. And it was interesting because some queens that I didn't care for initially, and even in the Meet the Queen episodes, kind of changed my mind a little bit because they were just set apart from the pack, and I could focus in on what their shtick was or what value they could bring to the table. So it was good. I'm curious to see what the next episode will look like with the second group of queens, to see if they also have differences.
Yeah. Wait, so did we know that it was should I have known that it was going to be 2 groups again? Or
no.
Okay, so it wasn't announced.
No, it was not.
I like it because you get to know the queens a little bit better.
Yes.
I liked it. I liked last season because we got to know all the queens a lot better. Like, I can still name every single one, which in other past seasons you weren't able to because someone only got 1 episode.
Well, some people still only are getting 1 episode.
Still 1 episode, yes.
Only the queens from Michigan.
Don't worry. Well, exactly. 1 episode only still.
OT and I were saying last night, the other thing about having 7 is there's nowhere to hide.
Nowhere.
And I think that's amazing. So the critiques they were giving at throughout, but like especially on the runway, were very nitpicky for an episode 1.
The first episode. Yeah.
But that
would never happen.
There's no like middle ground where you can kind of just coast.
Let's talk like entrance looks.
They're ready.
Right.
They're ready for the drama. That's like a cat fight sound that we need to use.
That was perfect timing. I'm like, let's talk about the entrance look. Best and worst entrance looks, right? Who for you just worked? For me, I think one of the best entrance looks was, of course, Carrie, right? Like, oh my God, like how can you be that pretty? Like it's unfair.
Yeah.
To look like that.
Yeah.
Right.
But like you said, OT, I'm like always with queens like that. I'm like, I hope that you have other things that you're gonna bring. Like, what's it gonna be like in the comedy challenge? What's it gonna be like in the acting challenge?
Well, she gave us a little something different on the runway with her talent with the jump rope.
Yeah,
so, and that was sticky.
I like that.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I do agree that she should have like started with the jump rope, but we can, we can cross that bridge when we get there.
My pick would have been Alyssa Hunter. I thought that was a very strong first look.
Oh, that was the archery, the archery kind of theme one.
Yeah, it gave me Cameron Michaels. You remember when Cameron Michaels did like the good Cameron, bad Cameron, and she had the white hit? Like that's what it gave me, Cameron Michaels. Not in that way, like Cameron Michaels is fierce.
Yeah, but and I like Cameron Michaels, but it just seemed a little bit more like judged up. Mm-hmm. It just seemed a lot more. Less caveman and more like I'm a bad bitch.
But here's my thing, and I think I've asked this before. This comes up every season. There's the makeup that is like they're wearing like a white band here,
Mhm.
where it's so light up top. And it throws me off every time. I mean, even obviously we were saying like Carrie is very pretty and like Alyssa obviously, but like some of those queens, does it look different under the lights? Is
Yeah,
that
I
why?
think a lot of those girls, they paint for the club and not for television. Most of these girls were working in little bars, where all the lights are on the ceiling. So all
Yeah,
the
that makes
light is
sense.
coming down. So that's my guess.
I like Bosco's look.
Entrance, yes.
Yeah, coming in. I
That
think that
makeup. Oh,
Yeah, I think she's gonna be really strong. I
I
just got
agree.
that feel from her throughout the episode and her personality and like what seems like she is gonna bring.
yeah.
She stood out to me for sure.
She got one of my top scores, even with Meet the Queens. I do my little score sheet, like who
I
do I
used to
think is
do
gonna
that.
have, and she got one of my top scores. So I'm very interested to see how she performs. I like the little signature things she does with her eyebrows.
Eyebrows, yeah, they're gorgeous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I enjoy Bosco. I'm very interested to see what she's gonna bring.
Yeah, I thought of all the queens who like face paint wise, I thought her face was just beautiful when she came in. The makeup was blended really well. Like you said, the signature eyebrows were fantastic. Overall, I thought she looked so beautiful when she walked in. And I was so drawn to her face. Willow Pill's entrance look. What? What was that?
I didn't know if it was a joke that it said angle instead of angel. I had
Oh yeah,
no
that was the joke.
because like we don't know her, so I don't
Right.
know if she's in the joke
If she's
or I don't know if it's referencing anything. Maybe I'm too old to know what she's referencing. But someone asked her, like, is this like a Paris Hilton thing or what is it? And she was like, no, this is my drag. And I was like, I don't get it, which is fine, but it was not impressive at all. And
yeah,
yes, I was looking at the shoes and I never looked down.
I
But
was
her
super.
whole outfit made me want to look down at the shoes.
I was with Cornbread where I just kept making jokes about the flip flops the whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
I was definitely bothered with the flip flops. She looked like one of those like little girls you see in a porn that make you uncomfortable. Like,
Barely legal.
yeah, like that's what it
Yeah.
gave me.
Yeah.
It gave me like barely legal porn.
Part of the problem too was it was all pale. It was
Mhm.
like she's pale, then it was all white, then the makeup was
Blonde hair.
pale,
Yeah.
blonde. She just was washed out in all
Maybe some
ways.
heels. Like I don't know. I was
Well,
bothered.
I think it's like Jada in that competition, confusion,
Right.
right? As much as I disliked her outfit, I won't say that's the worst. I was highly disappointed in June Jamбalaya's. I saw June and meet the queens, and I was like, oh, I like her. I like her. She was a little quiet, but she had a little bit of the confidence and stuff. And then I saw
sex
her, and
appeal.
and she was the last queen to enter. Oh no. She
I
was
can't remember her outfit.
Good.
Exactly. It was a jumpsuit.
Good. You're welcome.
It was a jumpsuit. Kind of gave me the same vibe as season 1 of RuPaul's Drag Race when the girl walked in with jeans.
It was tight, but it wasn't feminine or sexy.
It wasn't bedazzled.
Yeah, it looked very off the rack. And that was also my problem
H&M.
with Willow's outfit. Like Willow's outfit looked like she could have bought that whole thing from Forever 21.
Limited too.
Yeah, and you don't watch Drag Race for that. Like you watch Drag Race for your jaw to drop, for you to be like, oh my God, like look at what they're wearing. And it was a very boring outfit. And nothing about her personality gives me boring. Her personality gives me sophisticated, it gives me sexy, it gives me beauty. And then I was further confused when Cornbread was talking about her being the fashion girl.
Yes.
I'm like,
she's a brand whore. And I was
right.
like, yeah, girl.
I'm like, where's the brand?
Exactly. I was like, at least let me see some Nike. I don't
know. The last thing about the entrances that I'll say is Orion was that the Michigan?
Yes.
Tried to come in with some comment, and again, we'll talk about this more later. But the preparation, it's like you're walking in. If you're gonna make a joke, like you've prepared this joke in your head, the timing, whatever, and it was just I get so cringy when people try to be funny and it's not at all, and then it's kind of just crickets. So at that point, I'm not even looking at what you're wearing because I just feel so embarrassed for you.
Yeah, she could have just walked in and said, "Hi, I'm Orion Story," and that would have been fine.
So are we discussing challenge now?
Yeah, let's start challenge.
The first challenge was
the mini
OT's wheel, his PTSD wheel.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. If I never see that stupid wheel ever again in the history of Drag Race, I was so triggered when I saw that wheel on the first episode. I hate that wheel. I think it has completely destroyed the entire integrity of the show. And I just want it to go away. Stop finding ways to incorporate that wheel into this show, RuPaul.
Yeah. And I mean, poor Simone, the reigning queen, ended up being between all those queens' legs.
Right.
In the wheel. I was like, damn, they couldn't have turned the dial a little bit. I was like, poor Simone. She's the reigning queen, and now she's between all these heifers' legs.
Oh, that's so funny. I didn't even catch that.
Oh, I was like, where's Simone at? Oh, between her legs. Where's between her legs too? Between her legs.
For me, when they said photo challenge, I was hard pressed to believe that anyone was going to beat Carrie Colby. As soon as I saw her, I was like, yeah, none of y'all are beating her in the photo challenge. Like, give this up. Let's just move on to something else.
Also, hers was one of the only photos where they took a picture or they kept the picture of her right side up. They put Cornbread's behind like this.
But Cornbread's picture upside, she was fantastic in that photo, though.
I know, but I was like, look, if you're gonna pick the winning picture, at least get them all at the same angle.
Well, you have to pick the best photo, and the photographer gets to pick the best photo.
Remember, Tyra got in trouble with that shit.
This is a hard challenge for me because I was just feeling nauseous the whole time.
I would have been like, look, can I just pose with it? Can I be like the Vanna White for this one? You know, I get motion sickness.
So for the next 7, will it be the same challenge or
no, it'll probably be a little bit different?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be something similar enough. Yeah, the main challenge is still going to be a talent show, which was cool because it was sort of a throw to All Stars.
Yeah,
because that's what happens on All Stars. They make you do that. And for me, it was fun because it gives you an opportunity to know the queens right up front. Except for Alyssa Hunter. What was that? You came out and you lip synced poorly to a rock song and air guitared a real guitar. What?
I'm so mad about it. I was so anticipating her picking up that guitar and actually being able to like play.
Right.
And I was getting so excited. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. Like, this is gonna be one of the better talents. And then when I was as shook as the other queens. And I guess the queens knew she had said, I'm going to play the guitar.
Right.
I guess the judges didn't but also to not read her for just doing a lip sync. I was just so mad about the whole thing. And then they moved down to Carrie and were like, well, you lip sync for a little bit before you did your amazing jump rope talent. And I'm like, the other Alyssa lip synced the entire time and you said nothing to her.
And she lip synced guitar too. That was a guitar lip sync.
That's not a talent. I was so mad. She should have been in the bottom.
Yeah, I was bothered by that.
Yeah, she should. I agree. She should have been in the bottom. She is the only person who missed the fucking assignment.
Completely missed the assignment.
She was like, I wanted to show versatility. I was like, bitch, on the challenge where you're supposed to show what you do best.
Right. When you're supposed to be showing who you are.
Yeah.
You're not a rock girl, obviously. That's not your gig. Why would you come out there and do that?
Now,
and that's not at this point, like we are, what is this, 14 years in? At this point, lip syncing is not a talent. It's just not.
No.
It's a skill. It's a required
It's a requirement. It's a necessity.
It's a required skill for you to be on the Olympics of drag.
Right.
Period. So lip syncing is not a talent. It's a requirement. So if that is all you're bringing is the requirement, I'll see you for 2 more weeks and happy hunting. Although I will miss seeing your cutaways as a boy because Jesus Christ. Wait,
well, I like Cornbread's lip sync. I mean, I know it's a original song, but sometimes lip sync, like when you bring that energy and you bring that performance and you are entertained, and that was a new song, I was like, oh, I
but see
love it.
there, but that's why it's different. It's not the same because that was her original song.
Okay,
that she wrote and created.
That she wrote, she created. That was her original song. Now, it was smart to not try to do that live because they already couldn't understand the recorded vocals. So could you imagine how Michelle would have tried to read her? But I'm so glad that all the Black people stepped out.
Yeah, they're like, I understood it. I understood.
Because I was sitting at home like, I understand every word. I don't understand what Michelle is talking about right now.
Yeah.
And Michelle, you've been around too many Black people to not act like you
I
understand.
I loved it how Lizzo was like, I understood every word. And RuPaul's like, I understood most of what she was saying. And I was like,
yes, because I was sitting at home getting my whole life. I'm like, I understand every word of this. Like, it bothers me when exactly, Michelle. and so it bothers me when we do that sort of thing. Like, there's a different standard for the queens based on their culture, right? And I don't think that's fair. I don't think that the Latin queens, it almost always somehow finds its way in that, oh, I couldn't understand what you were saying because English is my second language.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and even Alyssa was crying about that in Untucked, and probably because she's watched probably because her life is like that, and people, but on the show too, like you said, OT, throughout this show, that's come up.
Yes.
And she knows that she's maybe going to get judged for it somehow. And
I haven't had any problems hearing what Alyssa has said. It may be because now I watch the show with subtitles, but I ain't never had any problems. I ain't hear no problems. I understood it perfectly. I heard it perfectly.
If you have a certain elocution to your voice, then that's just what your voice is, unless you're Max, which we all knew that was fake, right? But ultimately, like, Cornbread is very, very Southern. She has a deep, deep Southern accent. And I live in the South where that sort of speaking is very normal. People speak lazy. They throw all their words together.
It's a slur.
Yeah, it's just what happens. And I get it. You're on television, and you are trying to elevate.
But also, when was the last time, and we've been watching for years, when was the last time you can remember them telling a white queen to speak differently? Even though we've had Alaska, and like we've had nasally stuff, we've had Valley Girl stuff, we've had Midwestern accents, we've had, all of those things that sometimes, one, it makes it hard, and sometimes two, it's just very annoying and grating.
Yeah.
And when was the last time you heard any of them like
Laganja Estranja, season 6?
They did. Well,
yeah.
Well, that's because she just kept using made up words.
Yeah. That's a little different. It's a little different. Let's go back to the Alyssa guitar thing for a second, because June did a African dance that was like, this is a talent. I'm a dancer, and it was amazing. And the headband moment.
Yeah, I wish she would have just left it alone.
Or just rip it off at some point.
Like,
rip it off and throw it.
I think that was the problem. The problem was she kept trying to fix the headband instead of just continuing to dance.
Yeah. Or let it go to your neck. Or something.
Or like rip it off when you do like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The dance was incredible and like cultural and an actual talent of like, I've trained to do this, type of dance. And for her to be judged more harshly than a lame lip sync
because of undergarments.
Because of undergarments.
and we will get to that in a moment. But
here's the thing. I think we can all agree the worst was Orion's story for the time. Okay, and to hear later that she totally winged it because she couldn't prepare with her other challenge because of like
her cat.
Her cat and
do not
look, you know what? Look, I don't have a pet, obviously, and I have a weird connection with cats since I watched Pet Cemetery at a very small age, so I don't get it. But people love their pets, so I don't know what's going on. I hope the cat's okay. I hope Orion's okay. I didn't think it was the biggest bomb of comedy sketch has ever been on RuPaul's Drag Race, but it was hella strange, and it was definitely the bottom. Yes. It was a hot mess, but the nerve of Orion's story to do that shit and do a character, I applaud her completely.
Yo, and didn't back down from it.
No.
Like even when nobody was laughing, like she stayed in it. Orion's story, wherever you are, if this reaches you, I'm a fan.
Like, let's back up for a minute, though. This is something we always talk about, and it will forever like irk me to no end, is that you're coming on Drag Race. Be prepared. And I don't care if you just switched apartments or, like your cat is sick. Like I said to OT last night, Joe, probably Willow had just come back from dialysis and still showed up with something like prepared. Like this is a giant thing.
Yeah.
So to just say, oh, I didn't really think about it and just like didn't prepare an actual skit or whatever is unacceptable. It's just unacceptable.
Yeah, Willow hasn't done drag in a year.
Let us talk about Miss Willow.
The spaghetti in the room.
Willow pill. Not a big pill, but a willow pill.
Rue loves that joke. She's gonna wear it out.
Oh, she is.
When I tell you, I could not keep it together after she threw that spaghetti in that bathtub. I laughed the rest of the entire night about that. If I don't remember, I will always, for the rest of my life, remember seeing her throw that spaghetti in that bathtub. That is something that will be burned in effigy in my brain for the rest of my life. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen. And I don't even know why it was funny.
Yeah.
Okay? I just know I couldn't stop laughing.
And the judges didn't know why they liked it either. Like nobody can place why it is that they were kind of entertained by that. I need to watch it again. I am much like the rest of the queens for that whole episode where I was just like judging Willow from the beginning, from that beginning outfit through like the out of drag looks through. I was just like, I don't know what is happening here.
But that performance gave you a better insight as to, okay, this bitch is different.
She's weird, and I love it. She's weird.
Who else would do that she did last night?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Was there anyone else who... Oh, Bosco. What? That striptease? That flower dress? What? I was obsessed.
I loved the petals. That part of it.
Beautiful.
I thought it could have had a little bit more oomph for burlesque.
I agree.
It wasn't as like sultry and teasy as I like my burlesque to be, since I'm a burlesque connoisseur for the two shows that I've seen. But that rose petal moment was really incredible.
It was gorgeous.
I mean, when I think of burlesque on Drag Race, I think of Roxy Andrews. I think of Ben De La Creme, and Bosco, I was just like, oh, okay. And I was like,
so you don't think of Violet Chachki, you just going to ignore her because you hate her?
We never think of her.
Violet, I love you.
Yeah, I hate is a strong word. I don't know her, but I was like, okay, this is creative, but I wish she would have did something more with it, where maybe like the song was like, he loves me not, and she kind of did.
Come on, Dream.
Background, yeah, he loves me, he loves you not. I like the end where she turned around, she had a flower in her butt.
Yeah,
but I mean, but it could have been more. It could have been more thought out, especially since she's from Seattle and she's talked about like Ben De La Creme and Jinx Monsoon and following in those
How
footsteps.
do you forget Jinx?
Well, I just mentioned there's a lot of queens, OT. There's a lot of queens. I didn't forget.
Jinx
I got
was
it.
the first Seattle winner.
I just had to recall Jinx Monsoon.
Well, there were also some not memorable Seattle girls who we will just continue to not remember. So that.
I don't remember anyway. So
Yeah. Sorry to those girls. We don't remember you.
Right.
When we rewatch your season, we'll remember.
Yeah.
Right. Let's bring it to the runway.
Well, first, and maybe you're gonna say this, OT, Rue changing it up with a whole number.
What?
Okay, self-promotion. I mean, I know it's like, let's listen to my new song, but that new song was fire, and Rue can walk still.
Yeah.
Like, how old is he? He's
61.
like
61, yeah.
Forget it.
Runway outfits. I'm just going to go ahead and say this. The world can hate me, but I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I did not like what Carrie was wearing. I thought the coat was fantastic. I thought it was really beautiful. That outfit under it gave me Pockets episode Candy Muse. That's what it gave me. All
the K's.
Yeah, the KKK.
I love that Lizzo was saying what everybody was thinking too with the KKK.
Right. Because I was texting you before Lizzo said that. I was texting you. I was like, I'm very bothered by these K's.
Yeah, because she's covering up most of the outfits. So if someone sees 3 Ks, they can be like, bitch.
Right.
It wasn't a good outfit together. It had good pieces.
So. Yeah, the coat was beautiful by itself.
I love that jacket.
That's the stunt, the gag, the trick, whatever word you want to use, of being a thin queen and a pretty queen is that as long as you walk with confidence, you can make everything look good. And it's kind of garbage, right? For me, because so many queens rely on that. Because if she would have came out in a bra and panties, she still would have been like, oh my God, you look so good. And it's like, yeah, she just got a bra and panties.
Cornbread. I loved Cornbread's outfit, but I totally agree with the judges where she needed something else on her head. She looked like short.
She looked really squished. I do agree with Michelle on that. And I think it was just because it was all attached. Yeah. I think if that headpiece would have been sort of like, okay, think Whitney Houston in The Bodyguard, right? The Queen of the Night, where it was like this draping moment where it came around in the front. If it was something like that, I think it would have, or where the hood stood up just a bit, it would have given you a little something else. But yeah, it did. It seemed to really, really make her look compact, and she is not tall already.
Or she could have just put a fucking crown on her head and put the lace over it.
Yeah.
And look like stunning. But she needed height. But other than that, it was beautiful.
But nobody talked about how fantastic those shoes were she had on last night. Those shoes Cornbread had on were.
I don't remember the shoes.
They were like this white, sparkly. It looked jeweled like fantasy. They were nice heels, looked like they were about 4 inches. They were stilettos. She wasn't coming out in a big clunky heel. Like those shoes were sexy.
Are you talking about the Crocs?
Nice. Huh?
About the
Crocs?
Her willows.
Her untucked Crocs.
Her willows. She's like, I call these my willows.
We will not discuss those untucked Crocs.
I actually really liked Orion's look. Even though I know she was in the bottom and like because her talent was kind of bombed, but I really liked her wig and makeup, like the makeup with the freckles. I don't know. I really liked it. I thought her look was cute. It was surprising. OT disagrees, I think.
I'm a judge. No.
I liked it.
That was, I don't know what the fuck that was, but that was not cute. The makeup, the wig. I honestly I hate that wig style.
I know. I actually loved the wig. I loved the wig. I did think the makeup was good. The rest of it was a wretched mess. I thought those were 3 cupcakes. I did not get boobs. Like
and one was coming out of the side.
Yeah,
it was not.
It was not okay. Bosco. Wow. It was giving me Maleficent. It was beautiful. It was dark. It was sexy.
Yeah.
It sparkled. It looked fantastic on her body. I actually believed she was going to win because of the runway. Like, I thought her talent was good, but I thought her runway was fantastic. Whereas I thought for Cornbread, her runway was fantastic. I mean, her talent was fantastic, and her runway was kind of a little notch below. So I actually thought she was going to edge her out. But I think what won it for Cornbread was just her responses on the runway. Like that rapid fire wit. She's so smart. She's so witty. She's so funny.
She made me laugh the most consistently last night.
And when they said when it's a tell, when the judge is like, she's a star.
Yeah,
that girl's a star.
Yeah,
and that's just there's nothing that's going to.
You know, when Lizzo is like, she's got it.
Yeah,
you're pretty good. You're pretty.
Yeah,
like don't come from my cornbread.
Right. Yeah.
Who are we forgetting from the runway?
Alyssa's runway was gorgeous.
That was the one with the big hat with the fringe.
Yeah, she gave me the My Fair Lady moment. Like it was everything.
I thought June Jambalaya's outfit was beautiful.
Me too.
I didn't even see the whole tights thing. When they zoomed in, I was like, okay, yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't distracting to me like others have been in the past.
It didn't take you out of the fantasy.
I will say this with June. While I agree, technically, Alyssa should have been in the bottom just because of her pure miss of the challenge.
Complete.
Like it was a complete miss.
Disregard.
So I understand June's like frustration there, but I think the critique that I have for June is that I need her to like something needs to click with her on what she's showcasing, whether it's confidence. I don't know if it's like a lack of confidence or insecurity or something, but something's not quite connecting, at least the last episode, with what she's trying to portray and what she's actually giving. Yeah. Because I just don't feel that like Alyssa, when she walked out on stage, like, damn, she a bad bitch. She has a confidence. She has an air. Willow walks out on stage like, this is me. Here, come and get me.
Regardless of how hideous that green outfit was.
Right.
We got to come back to that.
Like, come on, bitch. You know Michelle ain't going to like this shit. You know Michelle gonna put negative points on you.
That was giving me Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
It was so hideous. And she still was in the top
I don't know, where are you?
And still ended up in the top 3.
Yeah. And so
confidence is everything.
I think that was the factor that brought her down, because there is something that's just not clicking. But when she did that lip sync, honey, I was like, thank you. But you can't do Lizzo songs all season. I need her to like bring it and click.
Yeah.
Because her boy drag personality is wonderful.
Yeah. Put that up against someone like Cornbread, like we were saying, where it's like he feels confident, but she carries confidence. So right away, I mean, that's the star quality that they're talking about, where it's just like, I am drawn to you. You put off this amazing energy, and I just want to keep watching you.
Also, because it's authentic. When a person meets you and they realize very quickly that they are meeting exactly who you are, and they know that you are not putting on airs. This is not pretense. This is just real. That draws people in.
Yep.
And as Joe said, out of drag, or even in the one-on-one moments with the producers, you get that sense from June. You get that confidence. You get that sex appeal. You get that energy, but then something inside of her is shrinking. And I wonder if she's just afraid of the other girls.
Well, maybe first episode nerves, I hope, also, and maybe she's shaking those off, because we've seen this all the time too, and it's one thing I always look for when the queens don't know who they are.
Yeah.
And then inevitably, even if you don't go out till the middle or the end, it ends up biting you. And, and I know this is a Jan hate podcast, which I'm happy about, but it's the same thing we talked about with Jan with both the regular season and All Stars. It's just, it was clear that Jan doesn't know herself, but any queen really that doesn't.
Widow Von Du suffered from it.
Yeah, and it just comes out even if you're funny, even if you can bring some talents to the table. It's like if you don't have a confidence in who you are as a person and who you are as a queen, like what your personality is, it's not going to work.
But it's got to be like 100% confidence.
Yeah.
Right? Because this competition has a way of highlighting your insecurities, even in ways you didn't know existed, because you hear it in, I'm glad you brought up Jan, because it's the same thing that I'm feeling from June, is because June.
Yeah, I was just about to say
connection. Is the fact that they're like, I do this stuff well. I brought an actual talent. I did this. I did that. This is what I brought to the table. But they're not focusing on how they brought it to the table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what they need to concentrate on. And that's where your insecurities will come in play. Yes, you did. Yes, you did an African dance. And bitch, it was beautiful. But the fact that when little mishaps happen and you tried to like hide it away or tuck it away, that was your insecurity saying, oh, this ain't going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Your ass should have let loose on that thing because you knew exactly what you were doing. Like, I'm having a good time. Y'all gonna watch me work, and nothing would have came in the way.
The word perfect there is so spot on, because Jan also was like a perfectionist. Yeah, you can tell when queens are like, I'm trying to be perfect, and it makes them seem stiff. And both of those queens, I think, suffer from that.
Some of the favorite queens that we have are nowhere near perfect.
No.
Yeah.
Nowhere near perfect, but they're comfortable with who they are.
The thing that we're getting at too is false confidence does not work on Drag Race.
Not at all.
You can try to.
You will be exposed.
Yeah.
You will be exposed. Yeah. Ultimately, I think it's important for all the queens, for any queen, for all the queens who are coming after this season, who will be watching this show as it continues to go viral. It's just important to bring what you bring to Drag Race. Like Rue says it every single season. I picked you for what you bring. And now what we are trying to do here at Drag Race is elevate that. It doesn't mean you have to change the core of who you are. It just means take it to the next level. And it doesn't, and so many queens get caught up because they're afraid to change.
Yeah.
Right? They're afraid to lose the essence of who they are. But if you're losing the essence of who you are, is that who you were? Like, is that really who you were anyway?
Yeah.
So ultimately, like, step out of that mess and recognize like what got you here is the thing that's going to keep you here. Instead of going through all these motions, right? Like, oh no, I need to be perfect. Were you perfect in your audition reel? Probably not. Were you perfect in every performance that led up to you getting on Drag Race? Probably not. No. So don't come to Drag Race and think you have to do everything perfectly, or even worse, think there's a formula to it. There is no formula, right?
Girl, calm down.
Right.
Girl, calm down.
Yeah, there is no formula. Just go in there and
plus, if you try to go with a formula, that means you ain't trying to make history. You trying to do what this bitch did last season or the seasons before.
Even the 7 seasons or whatever that I've been watching with all of you, it the thing that has progressed through each season is that they are looking for queens that are super unique. I think, and that gets more and more challenging each season, where you really have to be, because competition is getting harder each season, right? So you really have, they're like in the audition tapes, it's clear that they want quirky, or they want something out of the box. They don't want the same old anymore. And so you have to own that. If that's what they want from you, Crystal Method, then you have
until you take it too far, birds throwing up.
Yeah, it can go a little bit off the rails sometimes. Don't regurgitate food on the episode. That's always a pro tip for any new drag queens out there.
Honey, what are your condos and condone moments of the show? For me, my biggest condone moment has to be Willow's flip-flops. Like, I just
that was the first thing I thought about saying.
I can't forgive that. I don't care if it was a joke. I don't care if it was intentional. Like, I cannot forgive you walking in your initial, like, that follows you. No matter what else you do, like, that entrance follows you. That entrance will show up on every show that you like. That follows you. You do not walk into Drag Race in flip-flops.
No.
I don't care if it is a joke.
That'll be a joke forever. You are a joke because of that forever.
Yes.
Yeah. People, you know, and I almost would have liked them better if they were just regular flip-flops, but something about the platform flip-flop was even more offensive to me. Like, don't try to make it be a fancy thing.
She wanted more height.
My biggest condone, aside from that, which I agree, I would say second place for me was, if you're going to do a really like intense dance, don't wear a loose headband. It's just just pro tip, you know, no one wants to be blinded while dancing. It's the same as wearing like a loose wig during an intense dance or a lip sync. You know, if it's any season queen should know, if it's gonna have a chance of like going loose or flying off, either you take it off right away or you don't wear it. You secure that stuff down.
Well, then I'll say don't fake a talent.
Honey.
Alyssa Hunter. I'm talking to you.
And it was, if she would have just said, I'm lip syncing, I still would have made fun of her to be like, really, that's what you're going to bring? But at least you're being honest. The dishonesty of saying, I'm playing the guitar. No, you are playing the air guitar. Right. You forgot an air in there.
Biggest can-do moment. I'm going to make this very simple. Cornbread. Done. Nothing else to be said. Cornbread was fantastic from the moment she walked in to the moment the credits rolled.
Although I will say, because of the Drag Race font, I thought her name for the first 10-20 minutes was Hornbread, which was giving me something completely different. I was here for it. I was like, Hornbread. Ooh, I like it.
Right.
Oh my gosh. And you liked it.
I liked Hornbread.
I actually like Hornbread too. It's very funny. It's very sticky.
I will say, for me, can-do moment was just having Lizzo as a guest judge, because I am obsessed with her and I love her so much. It shows like how far the show has come in who the guest judges are. And then next week is Alicia Keys. Forget it. I guess when we're talking about judges, then Rue's entry. That
was gonna be mine.
Sorry. Okay, you go. I'll edit my part out. I'll edit my second part out.
Rue's entrance. Catwalk.
Do you think they'll make them lip sync to a slow Alicia Keys ballad next week?
Oh my gosh. I hope not.
It's gonna be This Girl's on Fire.
This Girl's on Fire.
You heard it here first.
Girl is on fire. Or they could do This Boy is a Bottom. By Detox and Willem. To wrap it up, please tune in next week, our next episode, for the second episode.
And it nailed it.
Really good intro, Joe. You do not have to also do the extra. Your intro was fantastic.
All right. So to wrap it up, tune in next time to hear our thoughts on episode 2 of season 14, where we meet 7 new queens.
And you can find us everywhere at Condone Yourself Podcast. So that's Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok even. There's some funny clips that we put up on TikTok. So,
shit, we on TikTok?
Oh, sure.
Oh, hey.
Get your dances ready. Get your jokes ready. You can watch us and listen to this podcast. So on YouTube and Spotify is the best places. Whether you want to watch our pretty faces, which who doesn't want to look at our pretty faces? But if you are a podcast queen, then you go to Spotify and you can listen to us there. Our dreamy voices.
Ooh, my voice is dreamy. It's really sexy. You're welcome.
Yes.
Condone yourself, self. ASMR.
Be sure to tune in and join us next time. Thanks for listening. And we cannot wait to do this with you all again throughout the rest of the season.
Don't watch by yourself. Watch with us.
It's the best way to do it. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Good day.